Hi everyone, I welcome you to this session and today we shall discuss about the basics of food production. Introduction. We all know that food is the most basic requirement of every human being. When food is consumed, it provides satisfaction and pleasure. With the invention of fire, it was established that cooked food tastes better and can be preserved for a certain period of time. Culinary art is one of the oldest and pristine arts. Fire or heat is one of the most essential requirements for culinary art. Cooking mainly involves the application of heat in order to bring alteration in the textural form of original ingredients, thus adding proper digestion and assimilation. Cooking can be accomplished by a wide variety of methods and by using various tools. A combination of ingredients will further help achieve variations in flavor and overall quality of the prepared food. Cooking can also be defined as the act of selecting, measuring and combining various ingredients in an orderly manner to accomplish the desired effect. Variability of ingredients, ambient conditions, tools and the skill of the person are the major factors which tend to affect the quality of the final product. We will divide this unit into the following 5 modules: aims and objectives of cooking, advantages of cooking, moist heat method of cooking, dry heat method of cooking, and combination method of cooking. Firstly, we will look into the aims and objectives of cooking. Increase palatability. Cooking brings about a change in the physical and chemical constituents of the raw materials. This in turn contributes for increased palatability and helps in stimulating digestive juices, consequently resulting in increased appetite. To provide a balanced meal, cooking involves the use of combination of ingredients in one single dish, thus making it more balanced. To partially sterilize the food. Cooked food can be stored for a certain period of time. When food is cooked at high temperature, it leads to the destruction of certain pathogenic organisms. This further helps in improving the quality, thus minimizing the risks of developing foodborne illnesses. To enhance nutritive value and flavor profile. During the process of cooking, certain organic acids are liberated into the cooking water. This phenomena results in increased flavor profile of the cooked food. To add variety to the menu. It is possible to cook one single item in many ways. This could facilitate change in texture and also result in new flavors. For instance, meat products can be cooked in various forms such as soup, stew, dry roasted products and grilled products. Each of these will involve a combination of ingredients. This way, a novelty in flavor can be introduced. Similarly, almost all the vegetables can also be cooked in varied methods to break the monotony in the day-to-day preparations. This will make the menu more interesting and appetizing. Let us move on to the next aspect, which is advantages of cooking. It facilitates chewing, helps soften connective tissues in meat and aids proper digestion. Cooking also helps to convert complex food substances into simple ones. It helps kill bacteria and other pathogens. It enhances the shelf life of food. Increases palatability through texture and flavor modification. Food gets cooked by transmission of heat. Heat is transferred to the food during cooking through several methods such as conduction, convection, radiation and microwave energy. The various methods of cooking can be categorized into three types: moist heat, dry heat, and combination methods. Now let's talk about moist heat method of cooking. Under that, we have boiling. It is a method of completely immersing food in water having a temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. Cooking is continued by maintaining this temperature till the food becomes tender. Foods that can be cooked by this method are rice, dal, egg, meat, and vegetables. Advantages: this is the simplest method as it does not require any special skills or equipment. Uniform cooking can be accomplished. Disadvantages: continued vigorous boiling could cause damage to both the structure as well as the texture of food materials. Loss of heat sensitive nutrients like vitamin B and C is high. It's a slow process too. Pronounced loss of water soluble pigments take place. Next we have stewing. In this method, food is immersed in a pan containing a small quantity of liquid which is then covered with a tight fitting lid and is allowed to cook on a simmering temperature. Once the liquid reaches boiling point, the heat is reduced in order to maintain simmering temperature ranging from 82 to 90 degrees Celsius. The food above the liquid gets cooked by steam which is generated within the covered pan. Foods such as meat, vegetables, and legumes can be cooked using this method. Advantages: prevention of loss of nutrients since it employs small quantities of water. Flavor retention. Disadvantages: the process is time consuming and results in huge amount of fuel wastage. Steaming. In this method, food is cooked by steam generated from boiling water. The food which is to be cooked is not in direct contact with the water. Specially designed perforated plate helps to pass the steam over to the surface of the food. Popular food items such as idli, egg, and certain vegetables can be cooked by this method. Advantages: scorching and burning of food materials can be prevented. Food acquires better texture and they become light and fluffy. Cooking time and fuel wastage is very less. Steam cooked foods are known to contain less fat and are easily digested. These foods are more appropriate to feed small children and the aged. Nutrient losses are also very minimal. Disadvantages: specially designed equipment is required. Only selected food can be cooked through this method. The next method we are going to talk about is called pressure cooking. In this method, food gets cooked by superheated steam under high pressure. The temperature of boiling water will be more than 100 degrees Celsius. Rice, dal, legumes, meat and vegetables can be pressure cooked. Advantages: cooking time is comparatively less. Nutrient and flavor loss can be minimized. The chances of burning and scorching are very less. Best way of conserving fuel since 2 or 3 items can be cooked at the same time. This method does not require constant attention. Disadvantages: the equipment is quite expensive. Proper knowledge regarding usage, care and maintenance is required to prevent accidents. Cooking time has to be carefully monitored to prevent overcooking. Poaching. This method involves cooking the food in a minimum amount of liquid which is below the boiling temperature, that is 80 to 85 degrees Celsius. Fish and egg can be cooked under this method. Advantages: this does not require any special equipment. It's a quick method of cooking Hence, fuel wastage can be prevented. Foods cooked through this method are said to be easily digestible. Disadvantages: taste is not appealing. Chances of scorching are high if not monitored carefully. Water-soluble nutrients may leach into water. Blanching. Blanching can be accomplished by dipping food in boiling water for 1 or 2 minutes and then taking it out. Blanched foods are known to have bright appearances. This method is basically used to inactivate enzymes, thereby enhancing the quality. It is also a method used to loosen the skin from food materials so that they can be peeled off easily. Advantages: facilitates easy removal of peel, leads to destruction of enzymes, results in improved color, flavor and texture. Disadvantages: nutrients might get lost if cooking water is discarded. Let us now move on to the fourth aspect, which is dry heat. Dry heat method of cooking. Dear students, it is worth mentioning here that the role of fat and air in dry heat method of cooking is very pivotal. So, let's learn about their characters, shall we? Roasting. Here, food is cooked on a heated metal or an open frying pan. Example includes frying of nuts and rotis. Advantages: brings about improvement in color, flavor and texture of food. Reduces initial moisture content, thereby improving quality. Roasted food items can also be easily powdered. Spices like cumin seeds, coriander seeds and red chilies are fried before they are powdered. Considered as a quick method of cooking. Disadvantages: requires constant attention to prevent over roasting. Loss of nutrients like amino acids occur when the food is completely browned. Next, we have something called grilling, and this method involves placing the food below or above a red hot surface. It can even be achieved by keeping the food in between 2 red hot surfaces in order to make it brown on both the sides. However, in this technique, heat is more superficial and the food material is required to be reversed or rotated during cooking. Corn cob, papad, brinjal, fulkas and sweet potatoes can be grilled. In fact, barbecues are also made in a similar manner. Advantages: it improves overall flavor, appearance and taste of the product. Less time is required for cooking. Minimum quantity of fat is used and hence control on fat intake can be exercised. Disadvantages: requires constant attention in order to prevent charring. Toasting. This refers to placing of food under the grill or in between 2 heated elements to accomplish browning from both the sides. Desired degree of browning can be achieved through temperature control. Usually, bread slices are toasted. Advantages: one of the quickest cooking methods. Requires very less amount of fat, or even without fat also cooking can be done. Improves flavor profile. Coming to the disadvantages, this method of cooking needs constant attention to prevent charring. Baking. In this method, food is cooked in specially designed equipment with the intervention of dry heat or air. The temperature usually ranges from 120 to 260 degrees Celsius. Food cooked this way is generally crisp and brown on the surface, whereas in the center it will be soft and porous. Delicacies like cake, pudding and bread have this type of textural property. The oven, which is used to facilitate this method of cooking, is provided with an insulated material to prevent fluctuations in internal temperature through the effect of outside temperature. A wide variety of food such as pies, biscuits, pizzas, puffs, bun and non-vegetarian foods like meat, fish and chicken delicacies can also be baked. Advantages: improves flavor and texture profile, helps to bring variety in the menu. Uniform and bulk cooking can be carried out. Disadvantages: requires special equipment, thorough knowledge and skill of operating the system is required. Continuous monitoring is needed to prevent scorching. A desirable baking skill is needed to prepare a product having optimal sensory characteristics. Sauteing. Here, fat is used as the medium of cooking. Food is lightly tossed on a pan with very small quantity of oil, which is just sufficient to cover the base of the pan. Food is turned or tossed with a spatula to enable all the food pieces to come in contact with the oil. This helps to achieve uniform cooking. The pan can also be covered with a lid and allowed to cook on low flame till the food becomes tender. The product thus prepared will be moist and tender and of course without gravy. Generally, vegetables which are used as side dishes are cooked this way. Advantages: it requires less time to cook. A very simple technique indeed. Excess oil is also not required. Disadvantages: constant attention is required so as to prevent scorching or burning. Frying. This includes deep fat frying and shallow frying. If the food is cooked by totally immersing in oil, it is referred to as deep fat frying. Products such as vadas, bondas, samosa and chips are prepared through deep frying. While in shallow frying, little amount of fat is used and the food is turned occasionally to achieve browning on both the sides. Parathas, chapatis and rotis, cutlets are cooked by this method. Advantages: quick method of cooking. Deep fat frying is known to yield high calorific value since fat is used as a cooking media. Frying imparts delicious flavor and also contributes to attractive appearance. Disadvantages: requires careful monitoring to avoid charring. If oil absorption is high, then the food may become soggy. Fried foods take a long time to digest. Microwave cooking. This method of cooking mainly consists of metal cabinet into which the magnetron is inserted. The cabinet also includes a metal fan which facilitates the distribution of microwaves through the cabinet. Moist and liquid foods get heated up rapidly in microwave ovens. The food which is to be heated or cooked should be kept in a microwave safe material such as plastic, glass or chinaware sans metallic substances. Using these type of containers will help to efficiently transmit the generated microwave. Advantages: only the food gets heated up during microwaving and not the oven or the utensils which are used for cooking. Uniform cooking can be achieved. Leftover food can be reheated very efficiently without undue alteration in flavor or the texture of the product. Disadvantages: food does not become brown until and unless a provision for a browning unit has been made. It is not suitable for simmering, stewing or deep frying. Special skills are required to operate the equipment. Solar cooking. Solar cooker functions mainly with the help of solar energy. The solar cooker consists of a well-insulated box. The interior surface of the box will be painted in dull black, which is further covered with one or more layer of transparent cover. These transparent covers help to trap the heat inside the cooker and facilitate cooking. These covers are designed in such a way that they allow the radiation of the sun to enter inside the box but do not let the heat escape from the hot black absorbing plate. The other type of solar cooker comprises of lens or a reflector material which is suitably designed in order to concentrate the solar radiation within the smallest area. Advantages: does not require conventional fuel. More than one recipe can be cooked at a time. It is environmental friendly. The equipment is less expensive. It does not require constant monitoring. The cost of equipment and maintenance is very low. Disadvantages: in rainy season, it is not possible to use this equipment. It takes a long time to cook. Requires vessels which are particularly designed to be used in a solar cooker. Let us now move on to the last aspect, and that is combination method of cooking. Braising is a combination method of cooking. Here, the preparation of food involves both roasting and stewing. Food can be cooked in a pan with a tight fitting lid. Flavoring and seasoning ingredients are incorporated and the food is cooked gently on medium flame. Upma, cutlet and vermicelli paisam can be cooked using this method. It's now time to wrap up this session. But before that, let's just conclude by saying, food which is a necessity of every human being needs to be cooked prior to consumption. The various techniques employed in cooking food will tend to yield unique characteristics to the cooked food. And now we know that there are mainly three methods of cooking, and those are moist heat, dry heat and combination methods. Moist heat method of cooking is considered as the simplest method of cooking, while dry heat method is the quickest of them all. We also know that some methods can be performed with or without oil content. You will also notice that all the above discussed methods have their own pros and cons. But with adequate knowledge and cooking skills, it is possible to overcome certain disadvantages associated with these techniques of cooking, thus safeguarding the health and taste profile of the product. I now hope you all have understood briefly the basics of food production. Thank you.